Hi, it's Sylvester. Sorry my face is so shiny, but I have been moisturizing the crap out of it recently because it has been very dry. So, I want to talk about gender dysphoria. I suffer with quite a bit of it, and I am on testosterone as a form of treatment for my gender dysphoria. At this point, the testosterone has pretty much done all of the stuff to my body that it possibly can do, like I'm not going to develop any more beard hair because of the testosterone. Like, I've already gone through male puberty at this point. All the testosterone really is doing is stopping me from menstruating, which is very important because menstruation causes me a ton of gender dysphoria. I also had my chest done. I had chest surgery. I had my breasts removed, and that was a treatment for my gender dysphoria. And so I've done, there are ways to treat gender dysphoria, but I don't think there's ever a way to really get rid of gender dysphoria. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are some trans people out there who have been cured of their gender dysphoria, but it is just kind of, as far as I'm aware, for most trans people, it is just something you kind of have to learn to live with. And, that can be easier said than done. Now, the way I view my gender dysphoria is that I do have a social gender dysphoria. Like, it bothers me when people think that I'm a woman. It bothers me if people call me ma'am, or if people refer to me as a girl. Like, that sort of thing bothers me. So there's a social aspect to my gender dysphoria. But I think the gender dysphoria that affects me most in my day-to-day life, because luckily, I've transitioned, and luckily I have passing privilege. Not all trans people want or need to pass, but I personally really wanted to pass, and I really like the fact that I can pass as a cis man. So I have passing privilege, which means that I don't experience a ton of social gender dysphoria, because most people who meet me assume that I'm just a cisgendered man and treat me as a man. And even if people know that I'm a trans man, most people around me still treat me as a man and refer to me as a man and use my correct pronouns. And so, again, I'm lucky in that I don't have to suffer too much in terms of my social gender dysphoria. But when it comes to bodily gender dysphoria, that's something that's harder to deal with, in my opinion. Well, maybe not harder to deal with. That's incorrect. It's something for me that it's an aspect of my gender dysphoria that's more difficult for me to navigate than the social gender dysphoria, because again, I don't have to deal with a lot of social gender dysphoria because most people treat me socially as though I am a man and refer to me as a man. And so the thing that I find hard to escape is the bodily gender dysphoria. And when I say bodily gender dysphoria, I mean literally my body, and the fact that I am not a cisgendered man, and that bothers me. Now, I am all for trans pride, and I understand the way I feel doesn't reflect how all trans people feel. In fact, I feel like the way I feel is very different from how a lot of trans people view themselves and view the situation. But personally, I do feel like I am a man trapped in a woman's body. And I know that that is an outdated way of seeing transness and talking about transness, because this isn't a woman's body. This is a man's body, because I am a man and this is my body. And so it is a man's body. I am not trapped in a woman's body. I am a man with a man's body. It just so happens that that body was assigned female at birth. Not all male bodies, not all men's bodies have penises. And, not all women's bodies have vaginas. Like, I totally get that. I understand that. But I do, at the end of the day, really resonate with the idea of being a man stuck in a woman's body, because that is really how I feel. And it was a lot worse when I had breasts, because I would look in the mirror. Like, I hated looking at myself naked. I hated seeing myself naked, because to me, like, I had a man's face. Up from like the neck up was like man, but then neck down was all woman. That's what I saw when I looked in the mirror, and it really bothered me because I genuinely feel like my brain thinks that I should have the body of a cisgendered man. My brain thinks I should have a penis. My brain thinks that I shouldn't have breast tissue. My brain thinks this, and I don't know why my brain thinks this. I don't know why that's how my brain is wired, but I really do believe that like somewhere during development when you're in the womb, your brain can develop to be male even if your body isn't male, you know? And like, I really think that my brain is male. And I don't know if that makes any scientific sense. I've looked into it, and there's some research to suggest that that might be a thing. Like, if it depends on like how much testosterone and quote unquote male hormones you get in the womb, it can cause you to be more masculine if you get more testosterone in the womb, and you could be more feminine later in life if you don't get a lot of testosterone in the womb. So, and you know, regardless of gender. So it is possible that I just got like a ton of testosterone while I was developing in the womb, more testosterone than a typical female fetus would receive, and it caused my brain to believe that it's male while my body didn't develop to be a male, if that makes any sense. Like, I really, really genuinely subscribe to the idea that you can have male brains and female brains and non-binary brains, and my brain is male. And it doesn't matter what my body is, my brain is male. You know? And so, like, I've always had issues with specifically my genitals. I know it makes people uncomfortable for me to talk about my genitals, and I'm not going to go into specific detail. I mentioned this in my previous video where I was talking about how I knew that I was trans, but it is hard for me to not hate what is between my legs because my brain is so convinced that that's not what's supposed to be there. And like, I have slowly over the years began to come to terms with the fact that this is what my body is, and I won't. It's not that I can't change my genitals. I could get surgery down there. I could. But frankly, I don't like my options when it comes to surgeries down there. I just don't think that they are going to really alleviate a lot of gender dysphoria for me. Like, there's phalloplasties, there's metoidioplasties. It's just like, I just don't think that the surgeries that are available to me are really going to solve my problems, because I just like, I've looked into the surgeries, and I've watched YouTube videos of people who have had those surgeries, and like, it just doesn't seem like it's for me. And I could go into more detail about that. If you want a video about me explaining why I don't want a metoidioplasty or a phalloplasty, you know, let me know in the comments down below. I don't feel like it's going to be that interesting of a video, but I might make it anyways, even if nobody asked me to. I might still make it, but like, I don't like my options, and I don't think that those surgeries would really help that much with my gender dysphoria. So so I'm kind of just like stuck with what I have between my legs. Like, I'm just stuck with it. And like, that bothers me a lot sometimes. Like, sometimes I just like it really bothers me. And it makes me so depressed to think that I can't just snap my fingers and have a penis. Like, it makes me so sad to think that I just can't have a penis, you know? And again, I could if I got a phalloplasty, but it's not the same as like a penis you're born with. Like, a phalloplasty is a penis, but like, it's not the penis that I want. I want a quote unquote real penis. You know what I mean? And like, no offense to anyone who's had a phalloplasty or who wants or needs a phalloplasty to treat their gender dysphoria. You know, your trans experience is very different from mine, and that's okay. That should be celebrated. But it's just, it's not the penis that I want. Like, I want a penis that's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I want It just bothers me so much some days. And it's like people think that when you have gender dysphoria around your body, it just means that you hate your body, and it's you have to learn to love your body. And if you learn to love your body, then your gender dysphoria will go away. And that's really not how it works. Like I have slowly learned over the years to love my vagina, to and like some days I love it more than others, but that sounds really dirty. I didn't intend for that to sound dirty, but some days it bothers me more than others. But like, it's not like that it's not that I hate my body. It's not that I can learn to love it, and still my brain will tell me that it's not supposed to be there. Like I don't know how to explain gender dysphoria to people who don't experience it. I don't know how to explain to you that my brain just really believes that it should have a different body. Like, I don't know how to explain this to people who don't experience it, and I don't really know how to explain it scientifically other than that whole, like, I got a lot of testosterone when I was in the womb thing, but, like, even that's, like, based on one study, and, like, it wasn't, so it's, like, those results aren't super conclusive or anything, but, like, it's just... it's like I can love my body the way it is and still recognize and still feel gender dysphoria. Like when it came to my breasts, a lot of people thought that I was, maybe not a lot of people, this was probably in my head, but I felt like a lot of people judged me because they thought that I didn't have enough gender dysphoria around my chest to justify getting a surgery. And, like, first of all, don't ever try to tell somebody how much gender dysphoria they suffer with, because, like, you don't know. Some people hide their suffering a lot better than others. But secondly, like, I loved my boobs, but I also really needed to get rid of them. Like, it's both. And again, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. My brain was telling me, like, when I would look in the mirror, when I would see them, when I would be reminded of them, my brain was in pain. My brain, it caused me distress. It caused me a significant amount of distress because my brain was telling me that those weren't supposed to be there. Like that's not what my body is supposed to be. And like it's a pain that I don't know how to explain to people, because like a lot of people have insecurities about their body. Like a lot of people are, let's say, fat, and they look at their bellies and they're like, that's not how my body's supposed to look, and they hate their belly and they want their belly gone. Like that's similar to gender dysphoria, but it's still not the same thing. Because like I would love to be skinny, I would love to not have a belly, but like I don't feel like I require surgery to get rid of my belly, whereas I felt like I required surgery to get rid of my breasts. And so, some people do feel like they require, or some people do need surgery, like liposuction, to get rid of their bellies in order to feel more comfortable in their bodies. And so, like, I guess that is pretty similar to gender dysphoria, but it's also kind of different because, I mean, I don't know, maybe it is kind of the same thing. I don't really know. Because like I said, as much as I don't like my belly sometimes, I don't feel like my brain isn't yelling at me every time I see it, being like, you have to remove that, that's awful, I hate it. Whereas the breasts, my brain would just start screaming as soon as I remembered that I had breasts, and just being like, this is wrong, I hate this, these must go, we cannot live like this. But I also still loved my breasts because I loved boobs. I really like boobs. Boobs are great. I am a boob man. I'm also a butt man, but I'm a boob man too. And like I liked to play with them. I liked to squeeze them. I liked to do drag and like have them popping out of my corset, I liked having cleavage. I liked showing them off, and like, again, a lot of people don't understand that, because I feel like a lot of people who have gender dysphoria around their breasts feel like they have to hide them. They really don't want people to acknowledge them. They really don't want to ever be reminded that they have them. But for me, I was able to just kind of like separate myself from like like being like, I don't want to have boobs, I don't like having boobs, I shouldn't have boobs, but I really like boobs. So I was able to like mentally separate myself from the boobs, and I was able to appreciate them as if they weren't a part of my body, especially when I did drag. It was kind of therapeutic because it allowed me to be more okay with my boobs. Like I don't know how, like, again, I don't know how to describe it. And that's another thing where people don't understand that I have gender dysphoria, because I do drag, or I used to do drag all the time. And so people, like, especially when I first came out as trans, I would often do drag, and it confused the heck out of people. They're like, wait, if you're a man, why do you keep dressing up as a girl? Like, why are you doing drag if you're a man and you have gender dysphoria? It's like, because drag is a form of expression, because it's a way of reclaiming my power, like, because for so many years I felt like I had to pretend to be a woman for the benefit of other people, to fit in, to, I felt like, for so much of my life, I felt like I was playing the character of a woman, where, like, deep down I knew that that's not who I actually was. That's not what I actually was. And so doing drag was a way for me to pretend to be a woman on my own terms, And I'm not saying that drag is like pretending to be a woman, but I hope you understand what I mean by saying that. Is like, I would dress up like a girl and like play that character, because it was a way for me to reclaim some of my power. And, like, again, I don't know how to explain that to people. I don't really know how to explain to people why I used to like doing drag so much, and I still like doing drag, less so these days, and I'm not really sure why that is. It just kind of like comes and goes. Every once in a while I just get in the mood to do a lot of drag, and I just do a lot of drag, but, like, recently I haven't really been in that mood. So yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Because the thing is, like, it's also like what I'm used to, wearing makeup and, like, wearing dresses and, like, acting like a girl, presenting as a girl, presenting femininely. Like, these are things that I'm used to because I've been doing it for most of my life. And so just because I realized I'm a man doesn't mean I need to completely change myself, if that makes any sense. Like, I do like makeup sometimes. Sometimes I hate makeup. Like, I hate wearing it. I hate how expensive it is. I hate how uncomfortable it is sometimes. I hate that my eyes water a lot. So, like, I'll spend, like, so much time doing perfect eyeliner, and then my eyes will water and ruin it. Like, there's a lot of things I hate about makeup, but I also really enjoy and love makeup sometimes. And it is a form of expression. And, like, I spent so many years learning how to do makeup that, like, once I came out as a man, I was like, I'm not going to just throw away this thing that interests me just because I'm a man. Like, I'm going to still like the things that I liked, because that's just me. Nothing has changed about me other than the fact that I've realized I'm a man. My interests are still the same. The person I am on the inside is still the same. And, like, I don't know. Like, I like the color pink a lot. I think gender norms are bullshit. This whole, like, men are allowed to like and wear and do these things, and women are allowed to like and wear and do these things, and, like, there's no overlap, and I hate that. Like, I think men should be able to wear pink and not be made fun of, and not be called a girl, or, like, called a homophobic slur or something. Like, I think men should be allowed to wear pink and purple. Like, I have this pair of purple headphones that I wear, and I'm always so self-conscious about it. Like, I like the color. I think it's a nice, pretty color, but, like, I'm self-conscious when I wear them because I know that men aren't supposed to, which means men aren't allowed to wear girly colors. And like, I have been made fun of before for wearing those headphones, and so it's like, it just, like, it pisses me off. It's like, it doesn't make me less of a man just because I like the color pink. It doesn't make me less of a man just because I like the color purple. It doesn't make me less of a man just because I like wearing makeup sometimes. It doesn't make me less of a man because I like doing drag and wearing wigs. Like, that doesn't give me gender dysphoria. Dressing up as a girl doesn't give me gender dysphoria. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, if I were to be dressed as a girl and then somebody used she her pronouns when talking about me, that would trigger me, that would upset me. Like, and like, I know that that's kind of weird, but like, even when I'm in drag, I'm still a he him, I'm still Sylvester, I'm still a man. Even if I'm playing a character, that character is still a man who's just dressed as a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had the freedom to not be judged by people, I would leave the house dressed like a girl, wearing full makeup and a wig, and like I would, because like some days I want to dress like a girl, and I just feel like that, like I feel like that shouldn't make me less of a man. And if you see me walking down the street, and this person with a beard who's in a full ball gown walking down the street, ball gown and tiara, like, ask me what my gender identity is, ask me what my pronouns are, and I'll say I'm a man and my pronouns are he, him, and then you can just respect that and like treat me like I'm a man and act like I'm a man and acknowledge that I'm a man who just happens to be wearing a ball gown, right? Like it doesn't give me gender dysphoria unless people actually see me as a woman. As long as people still acknowledge and know that I'm a man, then it doesn't matter what I wear. It doesn't matter how much makeup I'm wearing. It doesn't matter if I look like a girl, as long as people understand that I'm not. And again, I feel like people don't understand that. I feel like other trans people don't even understand that, because like I guess I'm just kind of weird. But like I like girl clothes. When I look at the red carpet fashion, women are almost always dressed better than the men are. Like, oh, you're wearing a suit on the red carpet? Wow. How inventive, how creative. Like, it's so boring. Menswear can be so incredibly boring. And don't get me wrong, I like menswear. I have a lot of cool t-shirts that I'm really into, and they're like men's t-shirts, and they're like cool and interesting, and I like them. But overall, women's clothing is just more, it's just better. Like, women's clothing is just like better than men's clothing. It's just, and everybody says that men's clothing is so boring. How much time do I have? How long have I been talking for? Yikes, this video has got to end, because otherwise I'm gonna have to edit this video, and I don't feel like doing that. So if you don't know, my camera will only record for about 23 minutes at a time before it stops recording for some reason. So I have to end this video now, even though I do feel like I probably have more to say on the topic. I think I've said pretty much everything that I want to say, so I don't know. Let me know if you want me to make a video talking about why I don't want a phalloplasty or a metoidioplasty. I don't know. I'm still probably going to make that video anyways, even if nobody asked for it. But that's all I have to say, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.